evening, good evening, good evening. How you guys doing tonight? Hi, Minnie. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Linda. Hi, Nana. Hi, Glinda. Hi, Richard. Hi, Gina. Hi, Sabrina. Hi, Rodney. Hi, Mark. Hi, Tia. Hi, Susan. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Sherry. Hopefully, you guys are all having a great night. Make sure you share this out, please, because we can get more reach. The more reach, the better for us. The more people that get the information that we need to share, especially in the world out there going crazy like it is. Biden sending over another $1 million, of course, or $1 billion to Ukraine. Oh, just ridiculousness that I have to hear that. $1 billion going to Ukraine again. It's not like we could use the money, as American citizens in need of that money. Oh, it's just sad. It's sad seeing what's going on in the world and watching this, of course, happen day after day as people, of course, are losing their jobs, losing money, and losing their place to live. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Corinne. I just seen you guys enter here. Hi, Tobin. Hi, Gord. But it is crazy out there. Absolutely crazy. Biden, of course, is warning big oil over gas export or output, trying to say he's going to use considered invoking emergency powers to boost U.S. refinery output. Here's the problem. The refineries are already operating at 95%. As we get warmer, the temperature, the less output refineries can do. It's ridiculous that he thinks the refineries can magically produce more oil than they can actually process. You can only process so much oil at a time. Yeah, Nikki, I heard there's more tornadoes coming this weekend, or especially tomorrow night. It's supposed to be bad storm that's coming through. But Biden trying to tame fuel prices is ridiculous, as it's not helping and it's not going to, as we're expected. This oil crisis is expected to keep going. I mean, energy crisis is hitting Europe hard as factories and everything else are having to shut down because they don't have gas. The natural gas that they do get is 3 times more expensive now in Europe than it is here in the U.S. And natural gas here is already 3 to 4 times more expensive than it was a year ago. The plants that are trying to manufacture things like chemicals, steel, and fertilizer are all shuttering in Europe. And those factories, amidst oil prices soaring and gas costs growing concerns that Russia may cut off its supply altogether, the little supply it's still giving, if they do that, it's over. Europe is trying to prepare for this scenario where Russia suddenly turns off the natural gas, with Finland, Poland have already suffered after their supply of Russian gas was cut by state-owned companies. Not, of course, cut off completely, but reduced quite a bit. This heavy sanctions, of course, on Russia, it ends up hitting the rest of the world more than anybody else. While Russia's oil export revenues jumped in May to its pre-war levels of over $20 billion because of the prices surging. Yeah, another plant closing down, Billy. That's what happens when you turn around. Pork plant shutting down. Just one thing after another. But here's the thing. This $20 billion this month that Russia has made, it only made $15 billion last year in May. It only made $15 billion last year in May. That means it's increasing its GDP while they're sanctioned. Can you imagine that? It's just crazy. Of course, India massively stepping up purchasing Russian oil is cushioning the blow from dropping sales in Europe, but the price of oil altogether is not looking to go down anytime soon. as this energy crisis is going to keep taking us higher on this ride. I don't know if you guys know, light crude oil is up to $126 a barrel today. $126 a barrel. And that is crazy. Yeah. More stuff being closed down, burned down, or food processing problems, recalls on food. And Biden wonders why his approval rating has dropped for the third straight week in a row. His approval rating, of course, 56% of Americans straight up disapproving with his job. And now is 74% of Democrats are now not even satisfied with Biden's job. This is ridiculous. These numbers show that there's a problem with our commander-in-chief, the way our country is being led. And Biden thinks by using an executive order, he's going to magically make oil producers produce more oil than they possibly can. All while we're going to hand, Ukraine, you need more money? Here's another $1 billion for more military aid. Another $1 billion. We're just going to send it to you. Try not to let the public know. Because the U.S. only announced the additional $1 billion in military aid to Ukraine from America for America and its allies to provide long-range weapons. Let me say that again. Long-range weapons. That's exactly what this $1 billion is going towards. Why are we sending long-range weapons in the first place? So we're going to be sending high-mobility artillery rocket systems to Ukraine now. Not just the Iron Dome system that we were talking about. We're talking long-range, high-mobility artillery rocket systems. Putin's already said what he's going to do when this stuff arrives. The other missiles have not arrived there yet. They're not even training on them yet. But now they're going to start training on these along with the other ones. And they hope to get the missiles in the fight within a few weeks. Where is this going to leave us? Where are we going to end up? Can't feed our own people, but yet we're giving $1 billion to another country. Meanwhile, Fauci, come down testing positive for COVID. National disease expert. He's tested positive, even though he's had like a dozen shots or more. Just guessing. But he's fully vaccinated and twice boosted and currently experiencing mild symptoms. This is getting ridiculous. How many vaccines or how many shots do you have to get? That's going to be the next concern, because that's going to be the next push. Is how can we make more people take a vaccine or more boosters? Because we need more, obviously. At this point, Putin is not even worried about the U.S. At this point, we're at the risk of NATO actually falling apart. Now you have NATO members that say they don't want to follow Article 5. And if that means they don't follow Article 5 and we get into a fight directly with Russia, we engage and say Britain or the UK backs us and sends weapons in, and these other countries don't, Article 5 doesn't go through and these countries don't help, NATO doesn't exist. It falls apart. NATO falls apart. We no longer have partners. It'll be the biggest breakdown of an alliance in history. And it would truly spell disaster. And if people aren't prepared to hear that, they need to be. People need to be prepared to hear what's happening. Because if NATO does fall apart because of this, because people want to make decisions for the behalf of other countries because they're part of a alliance, but not give those other countries the same exact power, same exact voting power on making those decisions and getting involved. They can't make it without the natural gas right now from Russia. They're having to get natural gas. They're still having to buy some oil from Russia. We want to go and attack or give Russia or give Ukraine weapons that could easily hurt Russia directly. We expect Russia to do nothing about it. That's Biden's play on this. That's our government's play. They don't care about the people because we're just pawns to their little system that they want to use. It's just sad. It's sad watching what is happening. Zelensky's not going to take Putin's place. If you watch what's been happening in Russia the last couple of days, in Ukraine, Russia has been moving forward and taking property at an ultimate rate. As that's the reason NATO's discussing these weapons for Ukraine and passing, of course, pushing these bigger weapons there because they can't slow Russia down at this point. Russia's not using their newer technology still. They brought it in for, I think it was like a week. Got reorganized, pulled back their newer equipment, and left all the Soviet era stuff back. That's what they've been using to fight with. And they're pushing through. It's not a question. We're watching it happen. Of course, Feds, of course, are going to be raising interest rates, which is going to affect everything. And how is it going to affect your credit cards, your mortgage, your savings rates? Well, there's a lot of points to that. I mean, inflation is going to, of course, increase rates. Will, of course, bring the housing market down to a reasonable price again, but you'll be paying the ultimate end on the mortgage instead of personal wealth going to personal wealth, or buyers and sellers, of course, exchanging that currency. Most of that will go to the banks now. I mean, this will be the largest interest rate in, I think, 28 years. The 7.5 or 0.75%, and they're talking maybe doing a full percentage point. This is not going to be good. As food prices go up, food shortages, of course, are increasing. That's not a question now. Nobody's talking about it. But they did. They mentioned it already, and they said what they had to say. And they're hoping for the best. That's all we can do at this point, is hope for the best. It's sad. Of course, the bear market keeps going as S&P dives even further ahead into the bear market territory with the Fed's rate hike decision. Waiting for that decision to come down, but ultimately it's going to be between 0.75 and 1%, and it's going to be a terrible, terrible system. It is hot everywhere, and it's going to get hotter. I hope everybody, of course, is prepared for rolling power outages because that will be coming along. Guaranteed with our first big storm of the country of the year this year that comes to the country is going to take at least one or two oil refineries offline, meaning huge fuel shortages and, of course, natural gas shortages, as we already know, at a devastating time. This is all factored in with what's happening. We're already in a recession. That is not a question I'm I'm calling it. I'm saying it for sure. We are in a recession right now. It is not a question. Just like 2008, government wanted to wait almost 6 months into the recession to call it. I am calling it. We are already in a recession. It's past the point of a recession right now, and we're almost heading towards a depression. There isn't a way to stop it or slow it down at this point. It's happening. It's like when you start to fall and you try to catch yourself, but you're standing on ice. You're going down, you know it's going to happen, but you're trying to give it your all to stay standing. And that's what America's like today. It's sad, vicious to hear that, but that's what's happening. And if you're not prepared to get back up after that fall and keep yourself moving, where do you end up? That's one of the bigger questions. Of course, more than a dozen cities today set daily highs, record temperatures, including highs of over 103 some places. Heat wave coming through the country right now. Of course, we'll bring tornadoes tomorrow. The Phoebes. I don't call them feds. I call them the Phoebes. But it's sad. It is sad. Price is going up. Milk's going to go up by another at least $1. American broken homes. People can't afford their bills. People can't afford to pay their rent, much less food that's double the price. Of course, with this increase of interest rates are just going to be a blessing to the country, let me tell you, because most people are living using their credit cards now to even buy food. So if you're paying another 4 or 5% on your interest rate on your credit card, because that's what happens when interest rate goes up a full percentage with the Phoebes, the Federal Reserve, your interest card on your card goes up 4%, or about 4 times that amount. And people are going to feel that impact. People on variable rate mortgages, even fixed mortgages to this point. I'm looking at call-ins of mortgages coming up soon. Even people that have a fixed rate mortgage, I guarantee there will be mortgages called in at this point, because some people are getting an interest rate that is so much lower than the rates are currently going at. And then they have a right to call in your mortgage. We have to refinance or pay it off. Sad but scary. Scary. Of course, Biden executive actions targeting anti-LGBTQ laws. I don't even know if any laws that are anti. So our inflation rate is well over that 19+%. Our inflation rate is well over that. If you use the same inflation calculator from back in 1912 to now, our inflation is above when it was then. We change the variables, change the scale. That's the beautiful thing about statistics. Is numbers can lie. You can just choose different numbers to pick and choose and put in front, and it make it look pretty. Making inflation look like it's going down or maintaining a certain level by picking and choosing what you want to count and how you want to count it. And that's what most Americans don't understand. Yeah. If you look at your mortgage contract, chances are there's a mortgage clause in there that states if the interest rate goes up a certain amount of percentage, they can force you to either pay it off or buy, or basically a forced buyout, which we would have to buy another mortgage at a higher rate. Yeah, fixed interest loans. They're only fixed to a certain point. If you actually look at your paperwork, some are truly fixed, and that was fixed back in 2008 with the housing crisis that happened back then. But some of them weren't. Some of the banks still issue mortgages the old way. Definitely look at that. Of course, if you get a letter in the mail saying that you're gonna have to buy out your mortgage or pay it off, stop using credit cards immediately. Betty, you were right. Stop using credit cards immediately, because those are the things that are going to hit the interest rates the fastest, or hit rates the fastest. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous what we're facing, what's coming up. It's sad. I don't know what else to say, you guys. We're just going to keep sending everything we have to other countries and watch our country just fall. Watch our country fall. Severe weather is coming tomorrow, so be prepared, especially in the Northeast. Tornadoes, lots of storms. It's going to be coming through, and it's going to be a huge, huge, huge tornado activity coming through. So be prepared for this tomorrow night, you guys. I do appreciate you, and I will be back Friday, of course, to give you guys live updates on everything that is happening out there. God bless you all. Thank you for being here. Just sad times, sad places, but we can get through it together. God bless you guys. God bless America. And good night.